Yo, straight, what's up, homie? I just scared my wife. I was in the hallway and I'm like, oh, I think I hear her coming. And then I listened carefully and I waited. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go right now. And I'm like, nope, nope, not yet. And I listened. And then I got her. I went down the hallway. I was running like an absolute buffoon. And then I made the weirdest sound. And she jumped. I jump scared my wife in the hallway coming out of the bathroom. Oh, 20 years of marriage. It's a highlight right there. There's a highlight. That and yesterday was pizza day, so really, this is the greatest day I've ever had, really. As it carried on into the morning, which, I mean, come on. Pizza day carrying on into the morning? Come on. Now, if you could only see the golden that I have before me. Normally, I'd take a picture of this, but I plan on making much more of this, so we'll do this next time. But it comes out like this. It's an orange color, a golden see-through clear orange. It's a very unique one, and I had some from maybe about like a month or two ago, and I checked it. That looking at the papers right here, it's a reddish orange after it cures. So wow, is this stuff wild looking, like cherry? No, not cherry. Like a terracotta burnt orange, but it's clear. It's not like the red. It's not dark. It's a. I'll be featuring it anyway. I got these papers here. You got to see it to believe it. Last year we had purple, and this year we went with a bit of a different varietal on some of them, and now I'm down this orange, clear gold, and then this deep mustard gold. These three varieties so far I've come across. Unreal. Just barely nicked the tip of this season's, tests. So we'll have hundreds of tests. Per month. Oh my god. I just threw an orange at my $600 piece of glass, and I snatched it out of the air with my left hand. And then I almost choked on the orange I was eating because I couldn't believe my eyes at what I had just done. Not whipping orange at it. I caught the orange in midair. Those were the best mandarin oranges I've ever had. If I could remember where these were from, I would head back. I think these are on Pembina though, which is a shame. I'm gonna have to go back. They'll be a day less perfect or the absolute perfection because today is the day that I'm eating them. Which if I eat all 24 oranges in that case today, oh man, I wonder if you can OD on oranges. So we're gonna test that theory out today. Find out what's really going on. Some breaking. We can't say the NEWS word anymore. So we say breaking stories, which is what everything is. It's simply a story. It's either a true story or a story with some facsimile of truth to it, or wow, is this ever amazing? Honestly speaking, I think I should videotape this, but I'm not going to. You know what I will do? I'm going to look at this through the, whatever this is, 160 times, 150 times scope here. We're going to text. I'm going to start texting this stuff here. We're going to text it. We're going to text it out. Not really sure. I have way too much hair. I'm sure that turns on a lot of ladies, and then other ladies, you want me to get a haircut. Why are all ladies so different, you know? I got a long beard. I got a big beard. Some chicks are just, absolutely digging it. Other chicks, oh, you better shave. You look old, Ashy. I'm like, I didn't talk about your beard. Hey? Jessica. I never brought up your beard situation, Jessica. Do women overstep their bounds when it comes to men's sexuality, orientation, or just their looks? Yes. Oh. I'm not proud of the fact that women are they're bad. Women are bad, you know? Oh, they can be sometimes once in a blue moon. Not often. Don't get me wrong, they're not horrible. They're just sometimes mostly horrible, but not always. You know? But I'm totally not into dudes, so we're going to have to keep these women around quite a bit longer, considering I ain't going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I was going to do another one, but now, wow, this smells awful. You know, there's something I don't like about this one. It's definitely that the profile has changed over the last however long. It smells like, whew, like, wow, I don't want any of that. That's not a desirable scent. You know what I mean? Like mine are, you can't get enough. Mine, your mouth is watering before you even get into it. Just going up to it, it just starts salivating. And that's a real thing. That is like deer can sense what they like to eat. We also come with built-in, sensing mechanisms that aren't used anymore because we have a thing called a refrigerator, a grocery store, right? So we don't need to forage in the bush to see what's what and how to do it, and we don't know the techniques that are used to check on what's what and if you can even chomp on this or not, eh? We've lost our way here. They weakened us incredibly, more than one way. You got your children in North America know more names of celebrities than they do names of plants. This is a shame. That's a shameful way to raise your kids. Shameful. Plants, the thing that we need more than anything on this planet. And you got kids that can't even name two. And you raised them. You guys raised these kids, right? So you got to do your part to, bring back what they have stolen from all of us, which is a learning of where we are, right? And understanding. Nowadays, you just watch a TV set all day, every day, and your yard looks like crap, right? Your house is clean, but your yard is grass and a driveway. That's the level of outdoorsmanship you've brought to nature in your area. It's pitiful, pitiful. The birds and the bees, they depend on each of us to plant stuff every year. It's important, it's pertinent to surviving in this day and age. We need plants. We need less people yelling at protesters, and we need more people protesting, right? Right now it's the other way around. You got everyone in the lineup is yelling at protesters. The world is ass backwards, You can see the greed in everyone, or in most, very quickly by their actions just regarding protesters, You can see their greed. Oh, I can't make money if I can't get there, right? Well, you can't make money if the world doesn't have any, berries or any bees or whatever it is, right? There's going to be more harsh circumstances than this one day you missing an hour of work because there's a lineup. You should probably be in that lineup and end the protest faster so we could solve the problem a lot quicker, right? Make people listen. The ones that don't want to listen are the ones that are rich. Make sense? Everyone's all big and all high and mighty, but when it comes time to, to actually chime in and show up for something, nobody gets off their couch. there's a lot of people that say they're against eco-protesters, or people are against PETA, like a lot of, I stereotype people, well, it's, let's just say there's a lot of people out there that are fooled by, one redneck radio station that claims everything is fake, everything is false. Yet you look around you and you can clearly see things are happening, right? Things are changing. Whether they're caused by man or not, things are happening. If we could first recognize that, yeah, something happened that's catastrophic in Hawaii, California, all these, in Alaska, Northwest Territories, and there's more places, I'm sorry, Canada had a bunch of fire issues with forest fires all over Canada, all over the States. Brazil, we had Australia, Save the Koalas a few years ago. They burned up all that, then they burned up the Amazon rainforest. So I'm like, if you think that this isn't a thing, it is. But on what level? I don't know, because not everybody is involved to care enough so we can figure out the problem, right? We're getting one corporation's view, and then it's pitched to every other small outlet in the country and then throughout the land internationally and their buddy networks across the pond and wherever else. This is crazy. It's one person's opinion or their story, rather than 100,000 stories that all correlate to meaning the same thing at the end of the story. So, I question a lot of the what is referred to as mainstream media. I question it because it's too similar to the Australians' mainstream media. It's too similar to the UK, and it's impossible. It snows here in Canada. It doesn't snow in Australia. So, cold and flu season is completely different from over there. And so I don't believe their lies. I don't believe what they say. I believe that there are evil entities that have done evil in the last 2 or 3 years hard. And they had an agenda that some people saw through and others didn't. So you followed, probably a way of thinking that was against humanity, and you followed a corporate viewpoint. Like, you followed a corporation's views, call it an agenda, plan, you name it. It's a plan. It wasn't. It's obvious that it was a plan now. Even people that are done and retired can see that, 4, 5, 6 years ago, there were these plans already in place for in the last 2 or 3 years. They just weren't sure on the exact time. Some places had more of a closer timeline. Do you want to know why? Because they were pertinent to carrying out the master plan. Those would be telecommunications, like internet, radio, TV. They would have the most heads up above anybody because they have to be in the now. They have to be in what's called the now. It happens very quickly. So they have to have everybody on board of what the now is. We don't get the now till 6 months, 8 months, 32 months later. We're like, wait a sec, this kind of all correlates. Then you start to Kaiser Sose the whole situation. But most of you feel bad for how you acted and treated others who clearly had your best intentions in mind the whole time, while you didn't have theirs. So that makes you less of a person, period. You weren't as human as you should have been. You were corporate. Humans and corporations are two totally different entities. You could call one a machine and the other an organic body, a living, breathing body. And the machine is the corporation that wishes to, poison the waters that we drink. Humans want to filter that water and pass it on to the next person that needs a drink. So when you are in this world living your life, make sure you always understand that you should be on the side of humans. Nature, nature isn't natural. All words were created by someone. They like to pitch you a story about about beings or people who lived and created language, right? You don't know their name. So for all those people that think one person created language, it's a lie. It's a lie that, maybe a group of people who had an agenda, had a plan, who had a knowledge of psychology far greater than most of you will ever have. Back then, they had this. And they used you and your friends against each other. They pitted you against each other. They rivaled you in different corporations. They pitted you against each other at different concrete companies. They pitted you against each other at different fashion shows. You had, all these different companies have their own figurehead, and everyone's vying for the top position. Who is the number one? That puts you against each other. So I don't do these videos too much anymore. It's been a couple weeks now, but I'm going to do another one in a couple days. I've been thinking about a few things that have really been happening, and I see them happening more and more. I do see a lot of people. It's actually amazing, and it's very warming to know that there's a lot of good people that won't do corporations' bidding any longer. They'll take their money and they'll fill the position of the job they need, but they won't do a good job. And this is what's crucial. Most people need to understand that if you drag your hemorrhoids at work, which is a corporate job or wherever you work for the man, right? The entity, the big building with some old family name placard written across the top, they're in on the bigger plan. They understand something that you will never probably ever grasp. And that's that this is a game. This is a game of life, the game of Monopoly. There's a credit score, a credit system with a score. Everything is, you're ranked. You're ranking. So if you don't understand that this is a game and you can't figure out how to even hit the start button, you need to wise up. You've wasted far too much of your life sitting in front of a tube TV, and now this is the outcome, right? So how do you better yourself? You start to go for walks every day. You bump into people at the grocery store and you have a quick chat. You find someone that's interesting and you hang out with them. Hopefully they have life experiences far beyond yours. This is a good choice, as long as they're a good person, right? I grew up with many people. Some of them were geniuses, some of them were good, some of them were, I didn't know at the time they were shady. As soon as I found out, I stopped hanging out with them. But, you don't always know everything about somebody. It's even like dating, right? You could think someone's hot at a club, and then the next day you date them and they're not what you want. They're not your cup of tea, right? So I run into that a lot. I don't relate to a lot of people, so some of the people I do relate to, I kind of like, not cling, but I enjoy their company, and it's rare. That's rare. I don't have a lot of people that, really excite me in life. That, and it's not because you're not boring. You don't excite me. You're not my cup of tea. I don't have to explain myself, my feelings, any further than that. I did it politely and smoothly. I don't need to explain every single little essence of everything. I feel like I should, just so I can let down people like as easy as possible, but I don't really honestly care anymore either. I'd just rather not hang out with you. Ditch my number. I'll pay $175 to have you never again call me. Like, I don't care. Like, money is nothing. My peace and my sanity and my freedom is everything. My privacy, I pay a lot of money to have my privacy. A lot. I pay a ton of money to have my privacy. If my privacy isn't, something that other people want to keep, the options are endless for me to ensure that you understand in the future that you need to shut your mouth. And I'm not a very nice guy when it comes to explaining people once or twice. Okay, but after the third time, I'm gonna make sure you understand up and down what I'm saying, because rid you from my life forever. I will. Period. So these are the options people have. Don't be a goof. Act proper all the time. Treat children and adult and elderly with a lot of respect, and treat your mother with respect. I'm a pretty big mama's boy. I gotta say, like I don't like. It's hard to explain. Like I love my mom more than anything, and I wish I could hang out with her all the time, but I don't hang out with my mom all the time. And but like doing stuff right now, just like sitting around a house. But like, we used to do like a lot of stuff, like camping. I've got tons of gardening. Like most of the memories I have with my mom are planting flowers and transplanting bushes and all sorts of things with pitchforks and crappy old rusty shovels, and we're barefoot in the garden, like whatever it was. Like I just have all these awesome memories, and for decades, and it started when I was like 1982, 83 was the first time I smelt a plant that smelled like skunk. I remember I was infatuated. In fact, this is probably the most amazing thing of all. I was infatuated. I remember this memory very, very clearly. I was infatuated, absolutely infatuated, with plants that smelled like skunk. I couldn't believe they smelled like that. And my mom got a kick out of this. My mom got a kick out of that. But the 80s, I'm from Winnipeg. I live in like the absolute Bible Belt of North America. So in 83 or 82 or 83, to have a son that was infatuated with plants that smelled like skunk is a heat score, big time. And so that's a thing. This is a real true story. Anyway, this is the creation of the hash man, okay? Do you understand what this means? I've spent 40 some years with the scent of skunk in my nose. Can you believe that? Plants, though, like actual plants, not, it's just, there are actual plants that smell like skunk. Did you know that? Can you believe that? Doesn't that just amaze you? That there is an animal running around completely black and white, and its defense mechanism is the exact same stink that a green leafed plant gives off. It blew my mind. When I was 2. Still to this day, it blows my mind. Believe it or not, that's a defense mechanism as well for the plant. So all these years later, I can look back on the moments I had at my brilliant my epiphanies when I was a child, like a very, very young boy. I can remember some of the things that really excited me and absolutely just drove me bonkers. I couldn't get enough of thinking about it. I couldn't believe it. It was mind-boggling how blown away I was that those plants smelled like skunk. And they were just right out in the open on Pembina Highway in my garden. In the 82, bro. So don't question me about this or that. I'm from a different, basically entirely plane of existence that no longer exists. It doesn't. There will never be other people that are exactly like me, because prohibition is now wiped out in Canada, right? So I'm not going to get too far into anything, but basically put it to you like this. Nobody will ever think exactly or have a shot at the title ever, unless they come from my era. Ever. Due to the fact that you're not people, younger kids nowadays, most of them lead a very, very sheltered life. Yes, there are some girls. There's a girl on my Instagram. I think she's maybe 30, 31, 32. She could be 25, 26. I don't know. I don't really care. It's a travel channel. And she's very cool. She's Australian. and she travels with 4 or 6 girls, and they travel all over the tropics. That's what she does. And she's like, she's not paid. She's not like, she doesn't have 175,000 followers. She's got like 6,000 or 4,000 or 10,000 followers. I don't even know. Maybe 3,000. I don't know how many she has, but she has like 6 or 10,000. And she has some really like one. I don't know if she'll be on the show. I asked her like last year or 6 months ago, and she never. I don't know if she replied or not. I sent out so many like shares that the feed, and I'd have to scroll way up to see. I don't remember her replying anyway. I think she said she might or something, but that was a year ago. I don't know. I'd have to ask her. But yeah, like she's literally on some private beach for 6 or 9 or 10 months of the year. Like on some beach that there are no people on. It's just it's very interesting. Very interesting. And there's actually like 6 or 8 girls, and they travel all over the world. They're from Australia. But they're young. Point of the story is that they're young. They're a lot younger than me, and they're traveling all over the world with themselves. This one girl sometimes travels solo, and the one girl I'm talking about, she just got back from India, Peru, like then she's in some tropical place right now. But she literally she did India, Peru, Egypt, a bunch of places, like 7 or 10 countries, like over the last 2 or 3 months. But this time last year, she did that same thing in another 6 or 7 or 8 different countries. And I've been watching her feed for 2 or 3 years. She did it again the year before, because this will be like at the end of this year, beginning of next year. It's my 3rd year watching her. It's mostly like pictures. It's mostly. Are you okay? It's mostly like pictures or something like that. My wife was drinking some water and I went down the wrong tube. All right. So, I can't even believe this. This OMG. This is my best. But I cannot, no. I mean, for this variety, this is my best. Okay? But every year has some just astonishing. But this one is so unique. They're unique every year. I'm not going to get too far into one way or the other. But this one is flames. So what I'd like to do is I'll get you all to tune in. I'll come back and I'll do another episode. If you guys want to type a number in chat, I'll pick a number in my head. And just type any number in the chat. Doesn't matter what you type. Could be 17 digits. Could be 1 digit. Pick a number and type it in the chat. A number is a number. It could be the number 1. It could be the number 400 million. Type a number in the chat. And then whoever gets the closest to my number within 1. And you can go over. Alright? So, can you go under? Yes, it's obviously got to be under, but it can't be over my number. If you went over, you're not included. Sorry about that. You suck, okay? And we'll see who's the winner. Everybody wants to be a winner. Now you're probably asking yourself, what are you going to win? Nothing. Nothing at all except a shout out, which is going to be it. That's everything. So you're winning nothing, yet everything at the same very second. All right? And be aware, this is no joke. You're winning nothing and everything all at once. What are you winning? Your freedom. I'll see you next time. Hashman out! Straight in the house with these awesome comments. I'm pinning this one. We had 11 votes. Are you happy? Aw. 82% said they were happy. 18% said they weren't happy. Aw, that makes me sad. 18%. How many votes did we have? 27 votes. That's a lot of people not happy. 18% of 2010s is like that's a 5.4 people. Oh, it makes me sad. Somebody is not even a whole person. There's only a 0.4 of a person watching. Aww.